Hello there, ITV Racing. I love racing, loved it all my life. I'm in my 60s now. I've been watching racing since I was about 10. I hate to admit it, but it's true. My granddad was a big racing buff. I've loved it for years. I remember horses from when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I've got an awful memory. I say it all the time. I've said it in a past video, but I remember horses' names, and they were from when I was 6, 7 and 8. The first horse I really remember, and first ever bet, was a horse called Mill Reef. It won the Derby in 1971. I was 10 at the time, and not until recently, that is the best horse I've ever seen. Others will say differently. Others will say it's Conqueror Brigadier Gerard was the better horse. I don't think it was. And further down the line, we'll have a discussion about those horses. It isn't for now. We're looking more at ITV Racing today. The reason we're looking at ITV Racing is it's the flagship programme for racing. Before ITV used to be Channel 4. I think Channel 4 did a much better job. I think the panel and presenters were much better. People rave about and love Ed Chamberlain. He presents the show at the weekend and obviously when it's on in the week. And he's pretty good at what he does. For me, I'd much prefer Nick Luck and Lady Hislop on the Racing Channel. I think or Racing TV. I think that looks fantastic. It's weird because there was a time when he first won Channel 4, I wasn't over keen on him. I got to like him and I've realised he's brilliant at what he does. My problem with Ed is he's just too over the top for me. Racing people tend to like him. I've got nothing against him, but you know, we go to Chester. Oh, Chester, there's no meeting like it. It's unbelievable. Look at the flowers. Look at the course. Look at the well. Oh, we're at Goodwood, glorious Goodwood. Nowhere touches glorious Goodwood. Look. Oh, you can't beat Royal Ascot in June. And look at Her Majesty. No, she's not here. Mum, sorry about that. Her Majesty, we're hoping you're out today, ma'am. We're hoping you out. We know you've not been well. It makes everybody's day when we see you. Oh, we wonder what you'll be wearing. We love Royal Ascot. He's over the top with every meeting. I think we're trying too hard to sell the racing. I think we're trying too hard. There was something at one of the races at Cheltenham at the festival the other week. He must have gone on about 6 occasions after the race. And the great thing is no horses have been harmed. Couple come down, but no horses. He went on and on and on and on about it. He goes on and on and on about how the horse always comes first, the horse. I know racing has got a few problems. I know it's had a few problems. I know it's had the problem with Gordon Elliott. And I've got nothing against Gordon Elliott, by the way. I know it's had a problem with the whip and constantly has a problem with the whip. A lot of that's racing's own fault, in my eyes, because they pander too much to others and they're on about it all the time. You know, if they'd let it lie a little bit sometimes, they'd probably be all the better for it. But that's just my opinion. But ITV Racing, it isn't bad. It isn't a bad product. The pictures are good. Lots on the panel are good. Ruby Walsh is great. McCoy's great. But it could be better for me. I just love Channel 4. The old days at Channel 4, you know. Alright, you had Big Marky. You know, it was very Marmite. You loved him, I hated him. I didn't like him initially, then I liked him. And in the end, I probably loved him. A few of my friends won't be able to believe that they don't like him, but I know a lot more about him over the last few years. I've read a lot more about him. I know people who knew him, people I respect, one especially who I respect massively. If you're watching this, I am going to mention your name one day. You're one of the few people that's ever tried to put themselves out for me. If we go back to that list behind me, which we will do in time, it's in the intro video, intro 2. You're the guy that's not on there. That's you there. Because you didn't want me to mention a name, and I'm not going to at this stage, but you were brilliant for me, and I appreciate it greatly. But I've spoken to people that I've worked with him. I know people that have worked with him. John Frankham, absolutely fantastic, just brilliant, just words don't describe. And then you've got Alistair Down. What a man with words. What a man, just absolutely fantastic. He's not on the TV enough for me. He's not on the Racing Post enough for me. He's brilliant. And you've gone from that to what's now on ITV, and that's probably my big gripe. Some of the things I'm hearing on ITV and seeing, and I think they all could be better. You know, when I see how many times in the last 2 years have I seen Matt Chapman at the start of a racing programme or on it's not the morning line, I can't remember what the opening show in the morning. How many times am I going to see him lay on the grass with them silly boots on, lay down there near the winning line? What's all that about? If he did it once, I mean, I never thought it was good, I never thought it was funny, but doing it once, he's doing it once. He must do it 3 or 4 times a year. I don't get it. He keeps doing it. His producers let him. Don't get it. Is it Alice Plunkett? In the last 2 years, and I really would like comments about this down below. If somebody could tell me they know this word, I'd love to know. Over the last 2-3 years, I've now heard a mention, and I don't watch ITV Racing all the time. I tend to watch Racing TV more. I watch Racing TV first, probably followed by ITV Racing, and then probably the Sky Sports Racing. And that's only because they don't have as many meetings on. But if I hear Alice Plunkett again say Bizbo, I'm going to explode. Because I've not got a clue what it's all about. Bizbo, I've never heard of it in my life, apart from out of Alice's mouth 5 or 6 times in the last 2 years. I know she means going mad, because she'll say, listen to the crowd there, they're all going Bizbo. And I'm thinking, there's Bizbo again. Who's Bizbo? When I first did it, I thought, who is he? I've never heard of him. Then I realised it must mean going mad, going crazy. Well, where is Alice Plunkett originally from? And people that were brought up in the area she was from, is it a word that you use? Because if it is, as I say, it's alien to me. I'd love to know where it's come from. But she keeps telling me they're going Bizbo, and I'm thinking, who's Bizbo? What's Bizbo? Where's Bizbo? Bizbo means nothing. I want to know where it's come from. And then there's another person on the panel, I won't mention a name, because it could be a bit embarrassing, but I heard the other week, I will say things wrong, I'll say things in error. I'll say things wrong in error, I talk too quickly, that is the problem. I'll use a term, a wrong analogy, or whatever it may be. I use some words too much. There's a video I did early on this week, one of my first ones, and I think I said, I can't remember what the word was, but I must have said it 20 times in the one video, and I thought, stop using that word. But it's hard to when you're new to things, and probably when you're nervy. But I get people using wrong terms. I get them getting a word slightly out of context or using the wrong word. And you know they've used the wrong word when you knew what they actually meant to use. But when they're miles off, I would want one of the colleagues to say to them, I think what you meant there was, and put them right. You know what I mean? For all I say things wrong and I drop an H or an S or a this or a that, I try to talk reasonably decent English. I try to, although I know I'll get things wrong. I get spellings wrong. I've got one of the videos on there about Scousers. I spelled Scousers wrong the other day. I thought it was C-E-R-S, it's S-E-R-S. You know, I changed it, but I got it wrong, and that's how thick I can be. I'm a right run-dicko at times. But when people are getting paid good money to present shows or be pundits on shows, they've got to be somewhere near right. There was a girl on the other week. I won't tell you the name. I won't tell you who she was. Well, I said the other week. It's a few months ago now. They're talking about something, and she said, and it blew me mind. I couldn't believe this. And she said, yeah, she said something about the horse might have been called it might have been called Wuthering Heights. And she said, oh yes, she said Wuthering Heights. She said there's a bit of conjecture with that one. It's after the film. Some people call it Wuthering, and some people think it's Withering Heights. And a co-presenter said, no, I think it is Wuthering. I think the clue is in the U after the W. So he did tell her then, I suppose, but how anyone could think it's Withering Heights is beyond me. The actual same girl said the other week, we're at Cheltenham, it's the major festival. It's the major racing festival in jumps or flat throughout the season. It's the biggest thing in racing at this moment in time, and probably will be for the rest of my life and thereafter. There's a horse going to post in what they call the cross country. It's a horse called Galvin. It's never run the cross country before. Well, not in England. No, I don't think it's run in England. I think it was his debut in England. It actually came second. It's a good horse. But Trent McGonigal didn't come second. And they're looking at it in the paddock, and she said, let me just have a look at my notes here so I get the right word. Yeah, she said, Galvin, I think it's going to be great. I think we've heard good reports about it. I think it's really going to take to this cross-country course. I think it's going to be a revolution. I do. I think it's going to be a revolution at this course. And I thought, revolution? Now, we know she meant revelation, but revolution, they sound similar. But the difference in them is he's just ginormous. And again, I wish someone had jumped in and said, no, sorry, you mean revelation there, not revolution. You know, that horse, no matter how well it ran in the cross-country, it wasn't going to overthrow governments or whatever else. But anyway, they're just a couple of thoughts. Bizbo, I don't like it. But let me know where it's from. If you know where it's from, let me know where it's from. And if people are going to introduce these words that most of the country never heard of, let us know exactly what they're all about. Because I'm going Bizbo in the wrong way. I'm going mad, but for the wrong reasons. You know, 'cause I get mad, that's me. I get frustrated. I'm Britain's grumpiest old git. That's what I am! Bizbo. See you next time.